Okay, first of all, I'd like to thank everyone for subscribing. I never would have thought that anyone would want to see my videos. I'm just making them for fun, things that I like to make, um, things that make my life easier around the shop. And I hope you guys like this one. It's a remake of Izzy Swan's pocket hole machine. Yeah, take a look, see what you guys think. Here's the final product. If I could have found smaller spindles, I would have used them, trust me. Yeah, it works quite well. It's not really that heavy. Possibly if a person was to ever make something like this, to sell in stores, I would go with 3D printed, I think. This one's all made of maple. And take a look, hope you guys enjoy. Started off, I designed it on the computer, printed it off and taped it onto a sheet of paper, or onto the maple, so I could cut it out. Next I had to run the dados and hand chisel them. Glued two together so I could do both sides perfectly the same. This is the back piece. Had to cut it out and make it twice as thick, so I glued it onto another one with some pins. Drilling the holes dead straight through it was quite difficult. I have bushings running in it as well. I think I epoxied that in place there, the start of the handle. Glued up the whole thing. So I started off with those, but I've changed it since. Had to go with a shock so it gave constant pressure. Another piece that I started with to hold the drill, then I ended up switching drills. A lot of that is still fairly similar, but the cordless just didn't have enough torque. I wanted to go electric. A little bit lighter as well. Gave some shape to the handle there. So this is where I took apart the drill and wired it up to a switch. Got the gas shocks in place. So that hole, you can actually see a line that you make on the chunk of wood, and the other two are to allow light in. That's a close-up of the switch. Here's where the springs go in. Okay, let's go ahead and try this out on some just some pine here. It's 3/4 inch thick. That's all I got just sitting around right now. I will try it out on some MDF to get a cleaner cut later on. So as you can see, if you lift it all the way back, it opens right up. And you can hear it snap into place just before it triggers on, and that will hold your workpiece very tight. So it's locked on there. Make sure you're right at the back. Little tore out just from it being pine, but yeah, it works pretty well. Very quick, very easy to pull. Like I said, a little bit of tear out. Kind of hard to see there. But it does make very nice holes. So here's a few features that I put in. So these gas shocks here, they're 30 newtons, and they are basically pushing back, kind of a cantilever type system. It automatically squeezes on the chunk of wood, and it is very strong. Like, easily crush your fingers just with those two 30 Newton shocks. When you put if I can miss the drill bit here, once you actually have some of that pressure on it, I can barely twist it out of there. You can slide it out if you really try, but that's pretty tight. Haven't had anything slip on it yet. And those spring-loaded balls, they go into these holes here, which I've rounded the inside of just to make it a little bit smoother and a little bit deeper. So you can hear it lock into place there. And took quite a while to get that set perfectly so the drill bit is not quite touching the chunk of wood, and this is fully squeezing the piece of wood. So that was a lot of playing around. There was a lot of design changes in mid-build, which you can probably see in some of the pictures there. So that's why, like, nothing's really done very well. It's not typically my style, but yeah, if I didn't have to change so many things, it would have worked out quite nice. And the switch to turn it on is right in there, and just past the click. You can just hear it engage there, and it is engaging like a fraction of a millimeter before it touches the wood. But when it's in the lock position, it's not engaged there, holds the piece of wood. You can readjust if you need to without making a mark at all. And yeah, that's about it. Okay guys, I hope you liked the video. Please subscribe and check out my channel. I do have lots of videos on my table saw, which is still a work in progress. Few other things there that you might find interesting. Please like the video and subscribe. Thank you.